younger than her.
So you guys split up too?
We divorced, yes. We split up the community property and sold house and did the whole thing because we were very sure that there were irreconcilable differences that we couldn't work out. And there were, Vicki. We had to make some changes in ourselves, and yet we could not seem to change each other. But that wasn't the problem. The problem is within yourself. That's where you have to change if you really care about a relationship.
Now, did you guys stay in touch? Did you all stay in touch while you were divorced?
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we did.
We had 2 children, and I was very devastated by the divorce. You know, what I didn't realize is that Susie, waiting for me, had lost her self-esteem. And it's very difficult to pat somebody else on the back and say, way to go, if you're not feeling anything for yourself. And so I was busy doing everything, and I was blind to the fact that my wife was unhappy. For 2 years, when I found out that she was unhappy for 2 years, it was a shock to me because I was so busy being dad, being the breadwinner and making the money, and she was sitting home and she was thinking to herself, you know, what's going on in my life? So she had lost her self-esteem and positive self-awareness, and I didn't realize that because I was the breadwinner and making the money and doing the things, and she really was at a dilemma in her life. What's for me? What am I all about?
Yeah, and
Jack,
you went so far as to get engaged to somebody else while you two were split up, yes?
That's right.
Several times.
Would sound like a turning point for you.
Would you at some point go, I am really jealous now?
Oh, yes. Yes, I was okay until I heard that he was actually going to marry someone else, and then I started thinking, but wait a minute, I never...
What about me?
Yeah.
I was on the plane.
Going to the wedding?
Yes, well, I was going to meet the friends of the family up in another part of the state.
And we got it.
She found out about it.
All right. Well, I want to talk about that. And if you thought that remarrying your ex is a choice reserved for racy Hollywood entertainers, think again. My next guest is a minister who found it hard to practice the forgiveness that he preached, especially when it came to his own wife. And we're going to meet them both when we come back.
Oh, those dry tissues. Who do they hurt more, you or your kids?
Oh, I'm sorry.
These noses need Puffs Plus, the only tissue with moisturizing lotion with aloe. It's better at soothing a sore nose because it's less irritating than dry tissues.
She's wiping her nose and it's not even running.
She's smiling.
This is a big thing. He never did it himself.
Puffs Plus with moisturizing lotion with aloe. It's first aid for your sore nose.
We used them too. Is that okay? Your oatmeal, sir.
Oh, the injustice of a low-fat breakfast. If only it could be more inviting.
Sir, from the lady.
Now it can. Introducing Philly Free. Rich, creamy, with the taste only Philly could give you. Yet it's fat-free. Now you can spread new Philly Free instead.
Tomorrow's medical news, antioxidants. Antioxidant vitamins in food help strengthen your body's natural defenses against cell damage. Centrum includes the complete antioxidant group. Centrum, more complete than any leading brand. And now, more important than ever.
You might never get that room picked up or the stereo turned down, but at least you can get those whites completely clean with new Ultra Surf Plus bleaching action. Its bleaching action out-whitens ordinary detergents and removes odors entirely for a complete white, so you can be proud of how your family looks, even when you hope no one's looking. New Ultra Surf Plus bleaching action, the complete white.
I can't believe she asked you out, Sam.
I had to say no, Herb. Cough, sore throat.
Try nice.
Sugar-free Nice showers your throat with medicine for icy cool relief.
Cool, feels better.
So what you gonna wear?
Well, I only have one suit.
Oh, yeah.
Put your throat on ice with Nice.
We're back and we're talking to couples who have found that love is lovelier the second time around.
Even as a minister, David Mueller found it difficult to live by the adage, to err is human, but to forgive is divine. But somehow, after being divorced for 5 years, he and his wife Gigi managed to forgive one another and reunite their family. Please help me welcome a couple who believes that remarrying your ex is much rarer than it ought to be. David and Gigi Mueller. Welcome. Now, Gigi, you were married to a minister and more or less married to a guy who was devoted to his congregation, yeah?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So you just finally went berserk.
So to speak, yes. It's a tough life. And our story parallels the other couple so much. David just didn't have any time for me. And I was dying, and he was not aware of it. And things just got worse and worse, and we drew farther and farther apart. And one day I just said, I want out of this. There's got to be something better than this.
So you left?
I left.
You went home?
Mm-hmm. I left. We had a bitter custody battle. I wanted the children to, I went home to stay with my parents in Indiana for a little bit, and I wanted to take the children with me, and David wanted the children at home, so we had a very, very bitter custody dispute in the courts, and the judge decided it would be better for the children to stay with David in the house in Wilmington. So I left them and went out to Indiana for about 18 months.
So this had to be very hard on you.
It was very hard on me.
What happened to change your mind? How did you two get back together?
As Abby said, we changed. We had to change. We were both very immature.
Did we or did you, David?
He changed. I wouldn't be here with him today if he hadn't changed. We both changed.
It took a while to trust that those changes were real, both of the other and in oneself. She came back 18 months later, but it was still the better part of 4 years after that we remarried, and we spent years out of sync with each other in terms of who wanted what, when, and we really couldn't get married to each other until that trust had rebuilt.
Now, you had a serious relationship with another lady, too, yes?
That was at the tail end before Gigi came back to town.
Now, is that like, because you were saying earlier that it's sort of like that jealousy that almost spurred that, I want to get back to, yes?
Yes.
Was that how you finally realized that you needed to seriously make some changes?
I was, the single life for me is just not what I wanted. It was fun for a while, but one day I just said, hey, you know, what I'm looking for out there is really what I left. And at that point, I said, I want him back. And he, of course, he said, hey, you know, you had your chance. I'm almost engaged to someone else. Exactly. So I had a lot of work to do before I actually did get him back.
So you had to break up this other relationship?
Oh, I don't like to say that.
She didn't have to do that. I could not seriously enter, I thought I could, but a marriage with somebody else while there were still gobs of mysterious feelings for Gigi. Not necessarily a real hope that we could get back together, but a wish that we could. And as long as that was really alive at all, it would have been terribly unfair to anybody else to marry them. So that probably would have not ended up in marriage anyway.
Now, what about you, Abby? Was the jealousy that really triggered you into saying...
I don't think it was exactly jealousy that triggered it. I think it was the realization at last that he was going to move on to a stable relationship in his life, and that would preclude my association with him any longer. And I didn't want that, because even during the time when we were angry with one another, I still needed his friendship and support. And whenever I get in any kind of trouble emotionally or spiritually or physically, I'd always call Jack. He was always my hero. And I realized that no one person can be all things to you, but Jack had more of the things that I required in a mate than anyone else, and I didn't want to lose that. And I felt like you did, that if there was a chance that there was still a hope that we could get back together. And so we went on a trip to Kauai together, and to see whether or not we had any spark of love left, because we liked each other. We still liked each other, but we weren't in love anymore. And we wanted to see if we could...
This was on the slide, by the way, because I was engaged to someone else at the time.
You devil, you. So you snuck away to Kauai.
Yes,
Oh, we
and
took the kids, too. So
Well, we said, why?
it really wasn't like sneaking.
No, I guess not. No, I guess what I'm figuring is like, if I got jealous of Al, it would remind me again how much I'm in love with him, you know. Now, you had a relationship too, Susie, no? When you
well,
guys
we
were
both
separated?
did, yeah. We both had relationships, and it never really interfered with what we talked to our children about. We never put each other down. And I was living in Dallas, and at one point, I called him and I said, I really am tired of living this life. I'd like to come back. He said, sure, come on back, live in the house. And we did that. I moved back with the children, because we were moving them back and forth. 6 months here, 6 months in Dallas. So I moved back, lived in the house for 4 years, each in our own bedroom. And then we decided that the spark was back.
Well,
How do you figure the spark is back when you're living in separate bedrooms and you're,
Well,
how hard is that?
Well, let me explain.
Well, separate bedrooms.
Well, wait
You
a
got the
second.
kids.
Gosh, you're just jumping all over us. Wait a second.
So sorry.
Okay,
I'm
here's what I
confused.
said. Here's what I said. I have 2 children that I love very much, and I know they love their mother. I'm mad at their mother, but I love her too. The worst thing you can do is bash each other in front of your kids. I had a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old, and they loved their mother, and I loved her, and she never said anything negative about me to them, and I never said anything negative about them, about her. So what happened was I was going on tour, and I said, listen, I know you're not very happy there. Why don't you come to Los Angeles, stay in the house while I go on tour, and let's see what happens. We'll get you your own place. Now, in the year that she was there, no sparks happened at all. And initially, I wanted something to happen, but it wasn't right. It was not, I didn't feel loved. You can't make love unless you feel you are being loved. So we didn't do anything for a year. And after a year of her not dating, being my best friend, and I'm still madly in love with her, and now you have to remember, I have to get my self-esteem back. Because when this woman left me, she took my self-esteem with her. And I turned to a positive addiction, which was running. I didn't want to get involved in womanizing. I didn't want to get involved in drugs or alcohol. So I knew that I had to internalize what I was going to and run it out. And I started running, and I was running 12 to 13 miles every day for about a year. Then I became a runner. I still run 5 miles a day. But Susie came back, and that first year she stayed in another room. And after about a year, I went out and bought a nice little bottle of white wine, put the kids to bed, and I just looked her in the eyes, and I just said, I love you. And the spark started to happen. But here again, we didn't do anything about it for 3 years. I mean, we were living together as lovers, if you will, for 3 years.
Darling, our children are watching.
Are the kids out there?
Yes.
We're kidding, we're kidding.
As confused as I am.
No, but you got to realize, I was shell-shocked. The woman left me.
I'm sure.
You know, what am I going to do? Give her half of everything again? I have a joke. My wife left. I remarried the same girl I divorced. I guess she figured, what the hell? I got half when I left. Why not go back and get the other half? No,
All right, now,
thank you.
Wait a minute, we have to take a little break. But now listen to this. My next guest spent a total of 25 years being married to the same man twice. And although she was unhappy in the marriage the first time, she married this guy again. And we're going to find out what in the world made her do that. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back.
On Vicki, get the real dirt on the hunks of Beverly Hills 90210, Fresh Prince and Parker Lewis.
Okay.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Find out about their wildest fantasies.
I can't talk about that now.
And how new kids on the scene from the Jackie Thomas Show and Baywatch deal with life in the spotlight.
I wanted to know if David could still speak French.
Oh, mais oui. Could you parle...
Bien sûr que je peux parler français.
TV's sizzling young studs, only on the next Vicki.
No matter how much you prepare, life is full of surprises. That's why people who are ready for anything count on AAA. 24 hours a day, anywhere. With AAA, help is just a phone call away. We'll unlock your door, change your flat, start your car, deliver gas, tow you, and much more. All for one low yearly membership fee. Sooner or later, you'll break down and join AAA. Why not join today? Call 1-800-AAA-8252.
Mom? Yeah.
You know Angel's sweater?
Yeah.
Like, kind of got grass stains on it.
I tried to wash it, but they're still there.
Cindy, once you put it through the dryer, the stains set in.
Sorry.
Let's try again with this new liquid Tide.
Introducing ultra-intensified new Ultra Liquid Tide. With a little help from Tide, even dryer set-in stains disappear without a trace.
It's clean.
Great. Can I wear it tonight?
Excuse me?
Kidding.
New ultra-intensified liquid Tide. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide. When you run out of Ultra Liquid Tide, don't throw it away. Fill her up with a new Ultra Liquid Tide refill. You're using less plastic. Less plastic is good for everyone, and saving money is good for you.
He protects all living things in the forest, but he can't do it alone. Please don't play with matches. I never, ever forget the words of Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent forest fires. In 1 square mile of snow, the beautiful, the rich, and the powerful come to escape. And it's the closest two friends from Detroit will ever get to paradise.
What do you think? I think we'll be like the Beverly Hillbillies in that place. They pay you to be ski instructors, right? Hope you guys are good. We are the best skiers on this mountain.
So there's about 100 guys. Maybe 2 make it till spring.
We'll make it.
Aspen Extreme.
Dream big and don't dream at all, baby.
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, January 22nd.
My guests today have all remarried their ex. But love the second time around could have its drawbacks, and we're going to talk to Linda Carlton in a minute. Did you have a question for these folks?
Well, I have a question. I know that your professional lives have a big toll on a marriage. I was married to a policeman for 36 years, or 46 years actually. We almost separated twice. I had 2 children, a stepdaughter, and I raised 5 foster kids. But by the same token, I felt that I was neglected because he worked every single night, 7 nights. He used to say he worked 14 days a week. He did, because he worked a double shift. Back in those days, you didn't make much money. And I had to work, take care of the kids, and the whole bit. I was ready to cut my throat at times. Instead, we drifted apart. We'd go back together, and his guard time, which was usually the 2 weeks vacation, was spent being at guard. He came home at noon on Saturday, went to work at 4 o'clock in the afternoon that same day. But I'm stubborn. I'm an Irishman.
We could tell that by your accent.
From Boston, yet.
Yeah, from there.
With the Kennedys. Oh. Anyway.
Little political commentary there.
I wouldn't go by their example, believe me.
So you're proud of yourself for staying with this guy
You're all
for 46
damn right,
years.
because he was worth it.
Yeah?
He was worth it. He was worth it when I married him.
Well, you're tough.
But I was, I'm stubborn.
Where is he?
He died 3 years ago.
Sorry. No, a natural laugh at that.
Yeah. No, he died 3 years ago, and he died at home. I worked and kept him at home. But now people are saying, go out and get married again. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I'm still married to the guy that I lived with 46 years. And I don't have 46 years left to break in anybody else, believe me.
Yeah, they're hard to train, aren't they? Professional lives, do you think that makes a big difference? Your professional lives on what happened to you?
It's more obvious. It's more obvious when you're in a profession that has those kind of demands that accompany it. But I think there's any number of jobs that can, if used that way, be in the way of a marriage.
Yeah, you could probably use your job as an excuse. Let's talk to Linda Carlton. This is my next guest. Linda says her ex-husband is a guy who never wanted to have any fun, which is why she divorced him in the first place. And then 10 years later, she married him again, trading in the fun and excitement for some stability, only to find herself divorced 20 years later. Linda Carlton, everybody. Now, Linda, you married a pilot.
Yes.
Who was gorgeous.
Yes, he was.
But he was no fun.
Gosh, like a clam.
So you guys were married for how long?
Oh,
first
about
time.
5 years the first time.
You were a child bride, too. You were 17? And
17, pinned at 16, no, pinned at 16, engaged at, well, we're talking from the 15th year to the 17th year.
You guys were babies,
I mean,
both
we
of you.
were children. He had a college education and was going into the Air Force and became a pilot.
So you divorced him?
Yes.
And you were single for 10 years?
No, not quite that long, but We're talking 6 or 7. I don't remember it so long ago.
But now, if he was a boring guy, what made you want to go back to him the second time?
Well, I had a wonderful relationship with a wonderful man who was murdered. And I suffered the trauma was terrible. But in that I had married so young, I went from my father's house to Mr. Wonderful's house, and then left his house and fell madly in love with this murdered gentleman. Where is a woman to go with 2 small children? So I went back to the home that he and I owned, and he was there, and he was still very sweet and very kind.
So you were thinking that you were ready to have that stability?
Yes, I needed it. And he was kind enough to give it, and what the hell, folks?
So you were married the second time for 20 years?
Yes.
No, I mean, that's no easy feat right there.
No, he was gone most of the time. I raised the children essentially alone.
So what were the problems the second time around?
More of the same that happened the first time around, except I was getting older and wiser, and I knew that there was a force for me, another place to go, and other people to meet, and that I needed different goals than he did, and you know, the intelligent person will get away from a clam who is not going in my direction.
So you knew you were marrying a clam the second time
Yes,
around.
I did.
That's what's fascinating. Who had a question down here? Did somebody have a question? Did you have a question? Oh. Well, I'll go over here then, and I'll ask some more questions. I swore you rose your hand during the commercial break. I want to know what changes you who remarried, had to make in order to make it work the second time around.
Learn not to create or try to create the other in your own image. Learn to accept them for who they are, and in order to be really able to do that, you have to accept yourself for who you are.
What about you, Gigi? What changes did you personally have to make?
I grew up. I realized that there's no one perfect.
I was as close to perfect as she could get.
We know that. No, a lot of it was maturity and self-esteem. I had no self. We talked about losing self-esteem. I had no identity. I was drawing my happiness from David, trying to draw my happiness from David, rather than from within myself.
What about you, Abby?
I think realizing that no other person is responsible for making you happy. You are responsible for making yourself happy. They can contribute to your happiness as a partner in marriage, but you have to work your own program. And you can't control other people. You can only control the way you react to someone else's, whatever they do. I can control that. I can't control anyone else. And I gave up trying to control people, and I think I found peace. And that's what real happiness is.
So do you all feel that being separated and being single for a while was a big eye-opener for you?
Oh, yeah.
Now, you two, Johnny, you and Susie dated a lot of folks when you were separated, yeah?
Well, no, Susie dated one person, right? And I dated several different, but nothing serious,
I heard you saying you dated everybody.
Well,
I just
gosh.
dated everybody.
You're just telling everything.
You were a busy guy.
Well, I was very busy. Well, I was, you know, cute, not attractive. I'll come out there. No, the most important thing for us, and I had to impress this, is priorities. She was the most important thing in my life, not show business. I get rejected every day. He's not right, he's not funny, he's too young, he's too old. I can live with that and I can sleep, but when we broke up, I realized how much her and my children meant to me. I couldn't sleep. I had to run off anxiety. So I wanted to impress upon her about priorities. Now, I want her to talk. Say something. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that what you learned while you were separated, Susie?
I found me. I had lost me for a while, and I found me again. I have to agree with the other ladies. I mean, we were an extension of.
But how well adjusted are you all that you can talk about it and not hold any grudges over the people you dated or things that went on while you were separated? What?
It doesn't come up.
That's when you grow up, when you don't hold any grudges. Well, we'll talk some more about that when we come back. And we're going to find out what exactly recoupling is anyway. Can that be found on a trailer hitch? Anyway, stick around because we're going to meet a doctor who specializes in it, and he helps divorced couples get back together again. He's going to give us some hints on how you can tell whether it's time to fish or cut bait, which might be helpful to Linda. Well, I guess Linda's already figured this out, but we'll have questions and some interesting talk with the doc when we come back. So don't touch the dial. Call and let me know what you think about my show, and don't hold back. It's bad for your digestive system. Your comments, suggestions, and show ideas are all welcome. Just call 1-900-28-VICKY. That's 1-900-288-4254. Call costs 75 cents, and you must be at least 18 to call.
Something scary is hiding behind my shower curtain. Grungy mildew stains, and dingy soap scum, too. Oh, I'm tired of using two products to get my tiles really clean.
Introducing new Vanish Mildew Plus with Bleach Plus powerful cleaners. It quickly removes mildew stains with bleach. Plus, it has more cleaning agents than Tilex to break up soap scum. So it cleans soap scum better than Tilex.
Now it's safe to go back in the shower again.
New Vanish Mildew Plus, when clean really counts.
Yo, Frosted Flakes fans, got a sweet spot. Hit it with a sweet shot. Sweet as honey gold.
Bring it on.
Crispy corn, whole grain wheat.
That's the stuff.
It's just fine, crunchy and sweet. It's crunch time. Touch of honey is what it's got.
Go for it.
Wanna hit your sweet spot? Hit it with a sweet shot. Sweet honey gold.
You wonder what it's going to be like for our babies 20 years from now. I want to make sure that this baby is happy and healthy, and I'm concerned about the environment. So here at our hospital where we use Pampers, we agreed to use these cloth diapers for about 6 months. They didn't work as well. The babies were irritable, very wet. With Pampers, they stayed a lot drier. Dry skin is important to healthy skin. It means a very happy baby. They deserve the best start in life. They deserve to be happy.
Since 1986, Pampers has reduced the bulk of its diapers by almost 40% and packaging materials by 80%. And they're working with several communities on lasting solutions to help keep diapers and other household trash out of landfills. Call for more information.
Wouldn't you give anything for hair that's shiny and healthy? Pantene Pro V shampoo and treatment conditioner has special provitamins and extra treatment to help prevent split ends.
Pantene Pro V. Try it.
At last, nationally advertised nail products made affordable. Lee Fancy Fingers press-on nails in clear colors and French manicure. Quality made affordable by Lee Nails.
From Lee, Relief. Knows better the gel with lanolin and vitamin E to relieve outside soreness as aromatic vapors soothe discomfort inside. Lee knows better.
Dr. Mark Goulston is a Los Angeles psychiatrist who teaches at UCLA. Yeah! In the last few years, he has developed an interesting knack. He's got a niche for himself now. He helps couples walk down the aisle again after they have gone through divorce court. Please help me welcome Dr. Mark Goulston. Now, I thought it was interesting. It was very interesting reading about you, Doc, reading how you developed this when you counseled people who wanted to reconcile all their differences when their parents were dying or when somebody was dying. And you sort of thought, why wait till then, right?
Exactly.
Now, what is this article I'm holding that I'm absolutely crazy about that you wrote?
It was in a marriage and therapy journal.
A marriage and therapy journal, and it says here, the doc says, men's most closely guarded secret is their desire to be permanently rid, as in a plane crash, of their wives and children. Oh, wait, you agree with this? Why?
I was telling her, I'm with Linda. My life is almost like hers. My husband's a radio operator on ships ever since World War II. So he was gone practically all the time. And I cried and pined, and when I'd see other people walk through the park holding hands and their children ran, I would be alone. And I'd sit at the beach while my children played, you know, and I'd sit there alone when I'd see other parents taking care of their little kids.
No, wait, so you think your husband wanted to be rid of you?
Oh, now he does. Now he does. He acts like I bore him, or he ain't got time to talk to me.
He does. You still married? You still married this guy?
Not really. I travel a lot.
Why does he want to be rid of you now?
What?
Why does he want to be rid of you now?
Yeah, why does he want to be rid of you now?
I think he was a bachelor, really. He shouldn't have got married to me.
How long you married to this guy?
Well, in bed or out.
Well, I don't know.
He was out during the war. He had to be out.
Are you spending more time around each other now?
No, we don't get along. He's day and I'm night. He likes to play bridge and play a little golf. He won't let me buy the groceries. I haven't been to the grocery store since he retired. Because he only cuts coupons and buys food.
Well, what do you think, Doc? What are we going to do about this poor lady here? Now it says in your article that they would like to be rid of their husbands and wives, and they hate themselves for feeling this way, but they don't want to share that.
A lot of men feel confined. They feel trapped. And if they feel trapped and there's no way out, often what you feel inside is the only way out when you feel really cornered is to get rid of the family, get rid of yourself, or go crazy.
Travel.
And then you said that women are it's a mother's murderous rage toward her helpless and defenseless children. That's their most closely guarded secret. And that men need to have their privacy protected and women feel excluded if they're not.
Women feel excluded because see, men get to stay away from the home and they get to have their freedom. Whereas one of the things that frustrates most women and most young mothers is children needing them 24 hours a day, pulling at them, invading their space, and they don't have the space to leave because they can't leave the child. It's abandonment. If a man leaves the family, it's a hobby.
So how do you know when somebody's a good candidate to get back together, or how would you know that maybe Linda was not a good candidate, that it wasn't going to work the second time around?
Well, I think the most important thing is a lot of times when you're in a relationship where you feel really frustrated and you have to get out, all you see is red. All you see is the exit door. And a lot of times you can't see that you really care about the person because all you want is relief. All you want to do is get out. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when you get out and you stop seeing red, you find out that you have good feelings about the other person, which you couldn't get to when you were feeling too angry.
So you have to tell us how we know what the difference is and when. When we come back, we have to take a little break, and then we're going to talk more to these folks. We're going to talk to the kids, too, see how they handle all this. To us at Vicki, or better yet, put your thoughts down in 30 seconds or less on videotape and send it to us at 3000 West Alameda Avenue, room 2977, Burbank, California, 91523.
As a Star Produce buyer, I can guarantee you that no other supermarket has the selection of fresh fruits and vegetables that you'll find at Star Market. We call it our year-round harvest.
Save on 25 fresh fruits and vegetables during Star Market's 5 for $1 sale, like grapefruit 5 for $1 and bananas now just 5 pounds for $1. Sale ends Saturday.
I keep our year-round harvest well-stocked, so I'm always watching for anything new that crops up.
Star Market, see what makes us shine.
This quality adjustable bed costs 50% less than these 3 quality flatbeds. 50% less. Yet Craftmatic offers these advantages over flatbeds. First, it adjusts electrically at the touch of a button, so you can read in bed, watch TV in bed, snack, chat on the phone, do a crossword puzzle, and relax and sleep in wonderful comfort. Plus, if you suffer from low back pain or edema or swelling of the legs, unlike any ordinary flatbed, an adjustable bed may temporarily provide relief. Call toll-free to receive this free adjustable bed catalog by mail. Get the facts about the adjustable bed that costs 50% less than all 3 of these quality flatbeds. 50% less. Call for your free catalog now.
Call toll-free 1-800-632-9600. That's 1-800-632-9600 toll-free. 1-800-632-9600.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcast system. This is only a test. This is a test of the emergency broadcast system. The broadcasters of your area, in voluntary cooperation with federal, state, and local authorities, have developed this system to keep you informed in the event of an emergency. If this had been an actual emergency, the attention signal you just heard would have been followed by official information, news, or instructions. This station serves the metropolitan Boston area. This concludes this test of the emergency broadcast system.
back, and we're talking about remarrying your ex. So I want you to further explain to us, Doctor, what do couples have to do before they can get remarried?
Well, the first thing that they both have to do is admit that they contributed to the problems. Usually when people get divorced, they're both blaming each other. Neither person is taking responsibility. The other thing you need to do is what a number of the couples have said, is you need to find a way of accepting the other person. Marriages working are actually 90% acceptance and 10% the other person changing.
So why did this not work for Linda the second time around? Do you know?
Possibly because it was unacceptable to be with someone who she went to for safety. When she was traumatized, she needed to go to someone who was predictable and secure because she was falling apart. But after she came back together again, she wanted to enjoy herself. It simply wasn't enough to just be safe. She wanted more, perhaps.
So could you have helped her out prior to going back to him if you'd have known all this?
Well, I think both people have to participate.
If you talk to them both, you can get to the bottom of this, sort of, yes? Did you have a question?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is for all the couples, I guess. When you're going through all this turmoil in your marriage and you've apparently made a permanent separation or divorce, is it more difficult explaining it to your children then when you do get back together, or is it, you know, just about the same
Or
as
are
any
they used
divorce?
to their parents being nuts by then?
Right.
How do you explain it to the kids all this?
Difficult as it may be, awkward as it may be, it's such a joy to them, in our case at least, that we got back together.
Now, I was reading that you gave a little note at a dinner. What were you, at a family gathering, and you passed a little note around?
It was our middle child's 13th birthday, and again, we had been in and out of sync with each other for so long, but finally, I think we were both ready to take the leap. But we were at a restaurant for Miken's 13th birthday, and I gave her a letter. I write letters and poems for my kids and for Gigi at those kinds of occasions. And in there was enclosed a card that she was asked to open at the end of her letter, which was her birthday present, and that was that we were getting back together. And that card made its way around the table to each of the kids who cried and cried and cried. Then Gigi got it, and she didn't know this was coming. But she said yes, and I knew she would.
What a sneaky way to propose.
Oh, it was a sneaky but wonderful way of...
Jack and Abby, this is your good-looking son, yes?
Yes, it is.
Would you stand up and say hi, Matt?
Hi, Matt.
This is Matt. Do you remember going through all this in and out?
A little bit. I think they kept it between themselves for the most part. All I really know is that they're great parents. And they were great parents through the whole thing. It was still, my mom was a great mom, and my dad was a great dad, even if they weren't a great couple together. And we were raised to always play nice or you got separated. And so that's how it was sort of presented to us, was we can't get along, so we're not going to be able to play together. We're not going to be able to live together. But my dad only lived down the block, so he wasn't that far away. It wasn't. I have no bad memories of it now, and that's what I've been told to say.
Did you? Oh, no. Oh, now weren't you excited when they got back together?
Yeah, I was.
How old were you when they got back together?
I guess it was 3 years later. Was it 3 years?
4 years.
4 years.
Maybe 10.
Maybe. Yeah, I was happy, but it didn't seem. They still were together. They still were friends. They weren't. It wasn't your dad's a bad guy or your mom's a bad person. They still were friends, and we still shared the same family thing. So I don't remember very much of it, so it couldn't have been that much of an ordeal.
Oh, so you were really young. Yeah. Well, let's talk to the dark kids up here. Stand up, you cutes. Stand up. Your name is?
Melissa.
And you are?
I'm Nick.
Now, do you guys remember the parents getting back together?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
We were going to dinner, and we were sitting in my truck, and all of a sudden, my dad just decided to lean back and said, "Kids, we're getting married again."
And what did you think?
I thought it was great.
You were excited?
Yeah.
How old were you? Do you remember?
10.
I was 12.
You were 12?
Yeah.
What did you think?
I thought it was joking, because he's a comedian, but...
What a wonderful joke, Dad.
And my mom agreed to it, and I was happy. I was really happy.
Was it hard for you guys when they were...
I was really young, so I didn't really remember much of it, but I really didn't like going back from Texas to California and
going back and forth. All right, we have to take a break. We'll be back in a minute. Get up close and personal with the young hunks of Beverly Hills 90210, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Baywatch, and the Jackie Thomas Show on the next Vicki.
shiny and disinfecting, nothing outperforms us in the bathroom. Dow Bathroom Cleaner, starring Scrubbing Bubbles. We work hard so you don't have to.
Trouble with heartburn? Well, you could change your job, change your lifestyle, change your diet.
Bon appetit.
Or better still, reach for Rolaids. It absorbs acid fast to bring 100% relief to millions. So maybe you can't change your life, but you can get relief in original and calcium-rich. Rolaids spells relief.
Presenting the 8-calorie cookie, the 8-calorie ice cream scoop, or an entire dessert that's 8 calories. Sugar-free Jell-O gelatin with 100% NutraSweet. There's always room for sugar-free Jell-O.
I got this tape because I wanted those buns.
There's an amazing exercise video that everybody's talking about, Buns of Steel.
And just after 2 weeks, I saw the difference. It was great.
An intense target toning program that finally hits those problem areas. You'll be led by world-class athlete Greg Smithy through the most effective workout to firm, lift, and shape your buttocks. Firm your stomach muscles, tone and sleek your thighs.
For me, it's not so much showing it as it is knowing it inside.
It's made me feel even better, and I know I'm looking better because people have told me that I look better.
Now you can have this amazing tape that was formerly $29.95 for only $14.95, just by calling this toll-free number.
I love Buns of Steel. My buns look great now.
To order Buns of Steel, call 1-800-874-3200. Have your credit card ready, or send check or money order for $14.95 plus $3.50 shipping and handling to Buns of Steel Video, P.O. Box 70, Department E6, Clinton, Tennessee. Or call 1-800-874-3200.
We're back, and we're talking to couples who have remarried their exes, and to Dr. Mark Goulston, whose specialty is to help divorced spouses get over the pain of divorce and move on to better, more loving lives. Explain to us, now I want you, well, first of all, there's a good question up here. You had a question, didn't you? Yeah, I want to take your question. Oh, pardon me. There you go.
I was wondering if any of the couples, if your marriages were to deteriorate again, would you hesitate to divorce?
Yeah, interesting. What do you do now if you have a fight?
We fight very differently.
Oh, yeah. Do you?
Oh, very different.
You don't panic?
No.
I don't like to fight, and she's not a fighter either. We compromise. And that question it's just something that it's almost like doesn't apply anymore. I think that, for me, does it?
No, he blows his top. I sit quietly while he calms down, and then we discuss it.
So you've just learned that works for you.
Yeah, it works.
What,
Well, it's
Jack?
never blowing my top at her. It's maybe being upset about some business thing or something.
Yeah.
Yes, Jack.
Well, I married her the second time to get my money back.
Right. Oh, what a cheap shot. He had to kind of amortize
do
your
that
investment.
again. I just let her have it. I'm not going to do that anymore.
No, honestly, we don't really, we don't fight anymore because, I mean, what is the point to it? What are we going to do? What is the end result of a fight? We're going to get a divorce again? We've done that already. We really want to be married, and we don't want to fight.
But one of the issues in our first marriage was that we didn't fight. We withdrew from each other, and I think when there's an issue that we have to deal with now, we deal with it, and sometimes that's heated, sometimes it isn't. But you have to deal with issues together.
And what was difficult for our kids to accept was after we were remarried, and when we would argue, they were devastated because all these old memories would get conjured up, and they were so afraid that we were going to get divorced again.
Absolutely. And I read that you said, Dr. Goulston, you can't possibly put yourself in somebody else's shoes if you're yelling at them.
That's correct. One thing that the question brings up, though, from the young woman there is marriages are different when you're in your 30s than when you're in your 50s and beyond. When you're in your 30s, you want to resolve every issue. But when you're in your 50s or later, sometimes it's a perfectly noble resolution to just say, I don't want to fight. I'll be wrong, you be right, I don't want to fight anymore. When you get older, you get wiser, and you have that wisdom that what's a fight going to prove? One of the other things that the couples may be referring to that they've learned to do differently, and you learn this when you've been around for a while, is you learn to bare your neck, because underneath anger is always vulnerability. And a lot of times, though, we don't want to show our vulnerability because it makes us feel more vulnerable. And then when the other person snaps at us, we say, why are they doing that to us when I'm feeling so vulnerable? Because inside you might feel like a hurt little animal, but outside you look like a porcupine in heat.
So you need to get at what it is under the anger that's really upsetting you. Now, this is Sheila, you guys. Sheila, tell us about you.
Well, I'm a little bit uniquer than you guys.
You are.
I've been married to 2 men twice.
Wow. So you married and divorced guys twice?
Yeah, I married my childhood sweetheart.
Sheila? Oh.
Well, married my childhood sweetheart, and it lasted about 7 years. He wasn't one I could keep at home. I met my second husband. We married. I was still madly in love with...
So you went marriage, divorce, then a different guy?
No, marriage, divorce, marriage, divorce. Same 2 men.
So you did this guy twice, and then you did that guy.
I have 1 and 3 and 2 and 4.
Sheila. Good heavens. Now, where are you now?
I'm married to 4. To number 4.
Okay. Well, we'll be right back. We have to take a little break. Lord.
WBZ is making a monumental match weekday afternoons with some magnificent moderators. Meet Montel, Maury, and Maureen. Montel Williams, a masterful motivational mouthpiece, is making his mark at 3 o'clock.
Can you answer one question with a direct answer?
And the most magnetic man, Maury Povich, well, he's moving from 3 to 4. Then Miss Maureen O'Boyle maneuvers to 5 o'clock with a current affair. Montel, Maury, and Maureen. For a most memorable mid-afternoon, turn to WBZ, weekdays on Channel 4.
Yeah, but in this automobile accident, our client was not at fault.
When you go into the office, it's like dealing with a friend. It's like somebody you've known for years.
Our client. She was clearly hurt at work, and she's entitled to collect.
They told me everything, and I was never in the dark.
Look, we're going to get our client what is rightfully hers, and that's that.
Call the law offices of attorney Dane M. Schulman with offices in Boston and Mattapan. Call 266-7300 today.
Attention homeowners. There's a reason why Superlative Home Improvement has become one of the fastest-growing home improvement companies in the Northeast. We feature high-quality vinyl siding and replacement windows installed by expert craftsmen at reasonable prices. And because of our buying power, we can pass along volume discounts to you. Like 1,000 square feet of premium vinyl siding installed on your house for only $1,749. That's right, this unbelievable price includes installation. And if you're one of the first 25 customers to respond, Superlative Home Improvement will include free installation. Don't hesitate. Before interest rates creep back up, take advantage of our easy credit terms. Superlative Home Improvement can arrange 100% bank financing for you. Imagine beautiful, no-maintenance vinyl siding on your home. No more scraping, painting, and costly repairs. Superlative Home Improvement can make your dream of a beautiful, maintenance-free home come true. Call 1-800-225-5800.
Hey, you! It's Clarence the Crusher. There's too much food in these Encore Salisbury steaks.
Tell him, Crusher.
How can I eat all these juicy, charbroiled steaks in rich, beefy gravy?
But Crusher, Encore is a 2-pound family-size entree.
I don't have a family.
I do. And we love Encore. We'll be over at 6 tonight.
Really? You will?
Al, about this Encore Veal Parmigiana.
5 tomorrow?
Oh.
For tasting more, it's Encore.
Plug-ins Nightlight. Freshness in a whole new light for 30 days and 30 nights. New Glade Plug-ins Nightlight. Coricidin for use at the first sign of a cold or flu. It'll relieve all of your major symptoms fast and help keep them from getting worse. Coricidin D. The sooner the better.
Okay, we're back with Sheila, and I've got it straight now. You married your first husband, then you divorced him, then you married your second husband, a different guy.
Yes.
Then you divorced him. Yes. Then you went back to the first husband.
Correct.
And you divorced him, and now you're back with the second husband.
Correct.
What have you learned from all this? The fourth time's a charm?
Well, I think the first time I was married to my childhood sweetheart, we had...
I guess we'll never get to the bottom of it. It's just too confusing. We're going to have to leave. But once again, I want to thank our stations, WEYI-TV in Flint, Saginaw Bay, Michigan, and WEAR-TV in Mobile, Alabama, Pensacola, Florida. Keep watching. We'll try and straighten this out. Thanks you all. It was very interesting. Thank you.